Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Dani, or you could also call me Nusa, and I'm an artist and I'm about to open my own yoga studio here in Monterrey, Mexico. So here's my story. In this episode, I'm gonna talk a little bit about myself and why I'm an artist and why I'm deciding to open a yoga studio in Monterrey, which I always told myself that I would never live here. Normally, I speak Spanish, so I've been talking for the last 3 years in English a lot, but I'm also like not an expert. So if I get my grammatic or whatever wrong, I don't speak this language like normally. But I'm trying, and the reason why I'm trying is to reach to more people and also express what I've learned like in my own journey, because I think I've overcome a lot of situations which I would have liked to have, like, I don't know, like these tools that I didn't have before, but like for a reason it all happened, you know? So now like I've lived and went through that, and I feel like it's my kind of like my path, like to do this. So this is why I'm doing it. So I'm from Monterrey, Mexico. I was born here and I'm 28 years old. I speak also English because like I went to a school that was both languages. So in a lot of subjects we had like English. And then also a part of my family, my mom's family, we're all born in the United States. So like whenever we gather together, like at Christmas or whatever, like my cousins would speak English normally, and so I heard a lot. I was shy because like I was the little cousin. I have a little sister, but like at that time, my cousins are older than me. So like at that time my sister wasn't born yet, like when we gathered like a lot more frequently. And like I was the little one and I didn't speak that good English, but I've heard it a lot. And I think that's like a way to learn, like hearing stuff. And also for the last 3 years I was dating like this American guy too. So like, and we lived together for a while. So like, it was every day like speaking English. And we lived like in Playa del Carmen. So like, basically, we were together the whole time. We were both doing home office and stuff. So yes, and I work with my dad, so like helping him like with some mortgages to buy houses and stuff. I don't work with him anymore because honestly I didn't like it. But it was something to get money, you know, like, and I thought that I could travel like by my own or with friends and stuff because I love doing that. So yeah, that's why I used to work with my dad. But now I'm really focusing in my yoga journey and now being a content creator too, because I feel that I have a lot to express to the world. I don't know, like I just feel it, and it's not gonna be for everyone, but like, I don't know, I'm just gonna do it. Cheers. I've been drinking matcha. I used to not like matcha, but like I drink a lot of coffee. I already had 3 cups. I still have a little bit more here. And I just drink too much coffee, so now I'm changing it to matcha. Or like having both, you know? Balance. So I was a little nervous recording this video first because like it's a little bit out of my comfort zone to record myself talking in English. One thing is to talk it and then I'm gonna record it and then I'm gonna hear it a lot like editing these videos. So, but like whatever. I'm like trying to just put myself out of my comfort zone, you know, because I think that's like the way I've been growing a lot lately. Like if I see my, like 1 year ago, well, 3 years ago, I was like someone completely different. And then a year ago, I was also, are always changing, you know? And in my experience, I was for a lot of my years the same way. I enjoyed being that way, but I felt like all the life happened, you know? and I change a lot. And I'm gonna be talking about like a little about experiences and stuff that I've went through. I don't know. The purpose is to connect, you know, and just to like share my story. And I was scared to do this at first, you know, because you are opening to the world to judge you, you know, like, and just people are always gonna talk. But I've learned like that it's just a reflection of themselves, you know? So if someone says something about you, it talks more about that person than you. And also like no one's perfect. Everyone has a good side and the bad side, and I don't want to like label stuff. Everything is just a balance, and like if we don't have the bad stuff we cannot see or appreciate the good stuff, and like backwards, you know. So yes, I'm sorry for the music. Maybe I'm wearing this microphone. I hope it doesn't hear a lot, but I was recording without music at the beginning and I was like, no, this is too cringy for me. This is better, I think. We need all these dark situations, or I don't know. We all been or we are going to be going through difficult stuff or stuff that we don't wanna go through, but it's just going to happen, you know. I feel that being resistant to the situation is way worse than just like breathing in and just trusting. Nothing lasts forever, you know, so like it's just part of the journey. Since I was little, I've always questioned myself like a lot of shit, and a lot of people do that. Like we're always in our brains, you know, and like life passes on and sometimes like you're not there in the present moment, and that happened to me a lot in my teenage years. Bad shit happened to me, like trauma and stuff. It just changed you a little bit. You put this guard on yourself, and I did that at least like so little by little. Like people would hurt me, but I was like numb in a way, like no one can get me, you know, like. But people like when I was by myself, I was too sad and stuff, and just too empty, like, I don't know. But like, and when I went out, I was just wearing this mask. I'm okay, I'm perfect, and like, if people talked or whatever, it would hurt me, but like, I would fake as it didn't. I don't want to say I was weak because I wasn't weak, but I wasn't like facing everything, you know? I was just like numbing everything and just didn't care and do more stuff like to hurt myself more. It was like a little of a cycle. I remember since I was very young, 16, 17 years old, that I would party a lot. But I'm not like ashamed of that like part of myself, because like honestly I had a good time. And I feel like if I didn't experience that, like maybe I would be so curious right now and be doing that right now, which is fine, like, but it's just like right now I'm in another part of my journey. But because I've went through all of this, you know, like, and each time you end up kind of like learning a little bit more. Oh, but I started numbing myself first with like a lot of drinks, you know, like at first you start doing stuff just to have fun because it's fun and stuff, but like sometimes shit happens. It's a lot of fun that you end up like hurting yourself in a way that you didn't want to, or you were not expecting you were going to. I felt like I almost died a lot of the times that I was like with the alcohol, like drinking a lot and stuff. But I was a kid. I was not an alcoholic or stuff, but like I was just living the moment. But like some of those moments went too far that I hurted myself. You end up hurting yourself, and I was like just numbing, you know, like not dealing with those feelings. I started like then kind of like experimenting with like drugs and stuff, like at parties, like, and I had a good time, like, and I learned a lot and I saw a lot, and like it opened my perspective way more. Like this is like nothing that's what really is. But also, like, I'm not telling you like you should do it, because like in my perspective drugs are not bad, but I feel like if you use them in a way I was using them at that time, which was like to hide all these feelings. That way, I honestly feel that it's not good for you, you know? You're just putting like hurting yourself more and more. I did myself that for years. And I was doing it like, started doing it like little by little, and it was becoming more frequently and more each time in ways that I feel that if I kept going on doing that, I would be probably like, I don't know, like maybe not here, you know? Definitely not doing this. Definitely, like I would be, who knows? But life sent me an experience that made me open my eyes, you know, like I was just going to get in a hole that it was like probably impossible to come out. And life put me in a situation in which there was no other way, like there was no other choice than to feel. If you don't deal with your feelings and situations, life is gonna put you away that you're gonna end up feeling it. So my voice here, or like I feel like I need to say this, it's better to deal with everything in the moment, being present, than just suppressing shit, because your body stores everything, you know? Like maybe you don't remember shit, but your subconscious does. So you're gonna end up living these situations in another way, maybe in another few years. But like my advice to you is like, don't try to ignore everything that's going on right now with you. Like all your feelings, just feel them, you know? If you need to cry, cry. If you need to like scream, scream. Moving your body is like a lot. Yoga is the tool that's been helping me like heal a lot of my scars and a lot of my shit for years that I suppressed. Like that, this is why I'm opening a yoga studio, and this is why I feel like it's my purpose, you know, my path. Okay, so I was telling you that I was suppressing all that. Also, I was like so insecure since I remember. Like I would always need to have this validation. I was a whole completely different me, I feel. Like a few years ago, this like experience that happened in my life, I also asked for it. So I was studying, okay, you know, I partied and stuff a lot. So then like it got a little more serious, you know, like when I started to study like my career. I don't know how you say it, whatever. I was studying nutrition first, and like there was a lot of like medicine like subjects. I remember like I would sleep in, I was studying in Tec de Monterrey. I would sleep in like the library with two of my friends that were studying like psychology, but we had like the same medicines like subjects. I failed. Two subjects, and like I studied a lot, and like it was just like so hard. Also, like I wasn't like so excited to go to these classes. I don't know. And at the end, I didn't see myself like at a desk having a one-on-one consultation telling people what to eat. I hated being like on diets. I was so insecure about my body. I had insulin resistance. I don't know if I have it yet. I don't think so. I've never felt more healthy than ever in my life, you know, right now. Yeah, I hated diets. Like I hated diets, and I went through a lot of diets, and I like didn't see results, you know, because I also partied too much, drink a lot, and like didn't move my ass like at all, you know, like not at all. I started doing yoga when COVID started. Like, so well, first we were I was studying nutrition, you know. I failed, I decided to quit nutrition, like this is not for me, I don't want this. So my mom, like at my house, she was like, you need to study something, like you cannot stay here doing nothing. School was about to start again, and I went to them and just see like what careers were like there. So I chose art. I used to I back then like loved like painting, but like I didn't do it a lot, but I went to like painting classes and shit. But that was all. Like I never been good at history or geography or like my I think I have ADHD, and one of my psychologists once told me that I do, but like I was not good at history. I didn't remember like anything, you know. I cheated at school, like with little papers, or I would write in my hand or on my leg or whatever. But like I did like painting, and like the subjects and everything looked pretty cool, you know. So I started going there. At the first day, I made two of my best friends. I love them. They're not from here. One lives in Mexico City and the other in Tijuana. So we don't see each other. The last time we saw each other was at San Diego because my friend from Tijuana, Jimena, she got married. So yeah, it was so fun. But well, I love them so much. And I'm gonna go at the end of this month to Mexico City for a yoga certification with Palo and Dan. They're like on Instagram really famous, and they're really, really good teachers. Like last year I went to their course and it was so good. I'm gonna go again. It's rocket yoga. So I'm gonna go, and my friend, the one that lives in Mexico City, I'm gonna see her. So Maria Jose, I'm excited for that. I was telling you, I have ADHD. I'm like all over the place. Oh. But well, it's fun sometimes. Like, you know, you're just thinking like a lot. But sometimes it's like, oh, like I need to be more organized, you know? Like, because sometimes I say I'm gonna do stuff and then I don't do it because I forget. I'm working on that. And then I have like notes, and then I lose like, where did I, like, oh, it's just like I need to be I'm working on that. I'm getting better, I think. I know. I'm also trying to shift my mind, you know, because we have sometimes such limited minds, or I don't know if you say it that way, limited beliefs that we need to put up outside, you know. They're not helping us. They're just like stalking us. It's important to do that. So well, I was studying art now. I made friends with these girls, and like it was the best of my career, like our friendship, you know. It was so fun seeing them like every day. And we had like fun classes like drawing, painting, photography, like a little bit of Photoshop and stuff, a little bit. And I was not the best, like in my computer, I've always struggled. Like I'm getting better because my ex-boyfriend told me, like help me, and how do you say it? He teach me how to program. So I've been getting better using my computer, you know, and it's like a great tool that I recommend everyone to learn because it can save you a lot of time. And it's been fun. I did like both my websites, my yoga website, I'm gonna put it here, and my personal website over here. I decided to put like two different ones because like I have the YouTube channel, Spotify channel, like my TikTok, Instagram, my blog, my own art stuff, my little store and stuff in this one. And this one is for my yoga studio, you know, like online and also in Monterrey. So it's been great, like learning to use my computer. You know. It's been also like, I'm not gonna lie, it's like sometimes like a little bit pain in the ass. But like everything, I feel like there's a point that you're just like, oh, I need some air. So I was studying art, like it was so fun. And I'm about to graduate, and one of my teachers, Isaac Olvera, his name, he's a really cool teacher. He was my mentor in my thesis. I was doing my thesis by myself, and at that time I was like, COVID already happened and stuff. I was like getting into yoga little by little. I went with my mom when I was 14, 15 years old, like to a class at a club we were in, at a sport club. And then I didn't love doing exercise, so I stopped going there. Like it was like, oh, I like it, but I'm not. I have other priorities, like party. And you know, like when you party, like the next day you're like, and then I would wake up like party again. And it was just like a cycle. Well, then back then in my thesis, like I was already doing more yoga. Like I started in COVID I was so insecure with my body and I got fat. Like at that time, I was not fat, but I gained some weight. My pants didn't close, you know? So I gained a lot. By eating cookies with my sisters, we would watch the Kardashians like all the time because, you know, people didn't know what was going to happen. Like, and it was just like all crazy. But well, like that happened, and then like I started doing yoga, and then like we started like going out again. I went yoga studios and stuff, and then my mentor was like, okay, like how do you see yourself like when you graduate? We were gonna have like summer vacations and then like come back with the semester and like work on my thesis for that semester, but I didn't. Before summer, I went to talk with him and I was, how can I start digging in, or like I want to work on my thesis this summer? How can I start, you know? Like I was a little kind of like lost because I feel like in the structural part, I don't know if you say it this way, but like in the organized part and stuff, I have always struggled, you know? Like I always leave stuff like at the last minute that I'm trying not to, because now I'm gonna own a yoga studio and like I need to work. I cannot like leave everything at the end like I used to. But it's fine, like I'm loving it, everything that I'm doing. I just wake up and I want to keep working. I sleep pretty late because I don't want to end up working. And it's just so amazing because it's my dream. Something that I'm honestly doing with all my heart because like it's something that honestly has saved me and pulled me in like situations where I was vibrating so low that I almost stay. I feel I was just like going in the hole, and like this tool, this yoga, because people think that yoga is just posters, because like that's what usually you would see in social media. Like I also post a lot of that, but not the only thing, you know. But that thing helps you when you do the practice, when you do those posters, when you breathe like that, when you just listen to yourself, you come and you just start thinking. There's so much noise outside that sometimes we don't even listen to ourselves. We just listen to other people's opinion, or the what should we do, that this is the right thing and this is the wrong thing. So I would want to do this, but I'm gonna do this because it's not the right thing. And then you start separating from yourself, you know, and your own path. Like, who invented all these rules? Someone like you. What would make them say that's the right way? And I'm not talking about break all the rules, go crazy and stuff. If you're gonna hurt someone, then no. If you're gonna like do it with your heart, you need to break a rule just to follow your own heart, and you're not hurting anyone, I would say like break the rules. But well, that's another topic. So he asked me like, how do you see yourself like graduating? And at that time, I was like, I see myself living at the beach, doing yoga, and being an artist. Like that was just like my dream, you know? And also I wanted to have like, my dream when I was studying art was to have an art gallery, you know? Where I could just put my own art, you know, like, and sell it or not sell it, or just, you know, like have my own place where I could just be in my own little universe and just like show people like my perspective of life, you know? Because I feel like I've had like a lot of experiences that if I wasn't courageous enough, or if I was living by fear of stuff, or just on the what shoots, like I would never experience everything, you know? And I feel like I just need to share my story. I don't know. I'm gonna be making more sense I feel on the journey. Maybe I sound a little weird, I don't know. But well, people that are gonna listen, they're supposed to listen, and people that don't, like, I don't care. Like, I'm not doing this to get like attention or to get whatever. I'm just doing this to share these tools and these experiences and just have fun, you know? Like, it's just all part of like a game. It's just, life is so wild. It's been a subject that has interest me the whole time. I will just love science and those topics, art, and yeah, well, So then I'm just like all over the place. But well, my teacher said to me like, okay, you should go to a beach this summer, stay there for a month, write everything on your journey with the people you talk to, things you see. Just have like your own journey with you, and right at the end of the day, everything. Like just enjoy and live as you were an artist already. You are an artist. Just live as you are already like graduated living there. So I did that, and it was like fucking pretty cool summer, full of experiences, full of like a lot of people that I've met, a lot of friends that I did that I don't talk to them anymore, but like we follow each other on Insta, and you know, we see like each other's lives. But like one of my best friends also lives there since like I'm pretty sure like it's been 7 years or something of years now there. I also saw him like a few times, like, and it was so fun with him and like one of his friends and his partner at that time and stuff, and like it was so fun. And then like I was staying in an Airbnb in La Quinta Avenida, so if you have gone to Playa, it's like the street where it's like a lot of noise, a lot of party and stuff. So I was just staying there. I remember the nights like I would have to listen to like music. Sometimes I was like, oh no, like I need to go out because I cannot like sleep, and like the noise would stop like at 3 in the morning or something, and it was like loud. But that kind of like convinced me a lot to go out. And like I don't feel like I'm shy. Like sometimes in school, if you met me in UDEM, like I was so like I would not talk, but like at parties, if you met me at parties, like I would talk. I think it's just like sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Look, Coquito. Oh, gee. Oh, she's the best. So I was there in Playa, I did that, right? So I was also in a mood of experimenting. I already like had tried like some mushrooms before, like, but that time there was this friend from Monterrey that was there like with some of his friends. He said to me like one time, like, we should go like to the beach and just have a mushroom and stuff and just like lay there and watch the clouds and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I've already tried before like the ones with that have chocolate, but not like just like the whole mushroom, you know. And it looked pretty like big, and it looked pretty. I in my mind was about to have one of the best trips. So like I wrote it in my notebook, like universe. I would connect, you know, like, and I was like, I wrote it in my universe, like, universe. I was feeling at the time a little disconnected, like spirituality with my own self, you know, like I was just like numbing and not dealing with everything, and I was just not feeling whole in a way. I've heard before that people with mushrooms kind of grow in a spiritual way. So I was in my notebook like, universe, with these mushrooms, please. I want to grow and see, like, and so I connected and I wanted that. At that time, I would do yoga mainly because of the exercise. I didn't know about like the whole philosophy part yet, and I didn't even like research on that and stuff. Like I kind of knew about the chakras and like the energies and stuff, but not really. But then that happened. And that time, like we were at the beach, I didn't see shit. The clouds looked pretty, the colors looked pretty, but that was it. Nothing to see really. But it started to rain. It rained like psh, a lot of the clouds, and like the sky went like dark. The air like really wild, that at the moment normal, you know, but like now I see it back then, and I feel it was like just like the universe, like your fucking life is about to change. I went back to my Airbnb because we were gonna go out with my friends, like clubbing and stuff. So I went in, like I returned by myself, and there was someone broke in my apartment, like, and stole my computer and stole my iPad, which they were like recently bought, you know. But I was like, and like my work from my PCs and my pictures and everything were in my computer because I don't have iCloud. If I lose my phone, I lose my pictures. And in my computer, I had all my pictures. So I lose everything. And I called my parents crying and stuff like, this happened. What do I do? My information and shit, like, I don't know. And then like I called my friend that lives there and he didn't answer, but I called one of his friends and then he came and then he helped me. And then my other friend came and partner and like they all helped me deal with the situation. Blocked my iPad and shit, tried to locate them and you couldn't see them. I lost my shit, you know, like I never got it back, but I thought I was going to. The next day I went to the police station and reported my file and they said like, we cannot do something unless like, I don't know, I don't remember. And then it was my last weekend also in Playa. So I was, I don't give a shit, I'm gonna like, of course I cried like for a little bit, for a while. I was drinking, I was smoking like a cigarette, I was like smoking weed, I was just like, oh. And I was like, oh, fuck it, like who cares? I'm in Playa, my last weekend, I'm gonna have fun. I said to my friend and his friends like, poker at my Airbnb. They brought Bacardi, huge bottle. We started having drinks and fun and playing poker. And I was like, well, I'm gonna go out. You can stay here, but I'm gonna go clubbing. Like, just give me the keys whenever, you know, like we can see each other like, walking in the 5th Avenue and you can just give me the keys. And they say like, yes, because they wanted to keep playing. So I went out clubbing to one club, had a drink. The music was not that great because I don't love reggaeton. I don't like reggaeton. I used to love it. But then like people change, taste also changes. So then I liked more house and techno, and I also prefer that way more than reggaeton. So I changed club and there I met my ex-partner. It was like the best night. Like we had so much fun. We had drinks and then like we were just dancing like a lot, like in front of the DJ at Speakeasy in Playa. And then like the club shut it and I was like what are you doing right now? And then he said like, what should we do? And I was like, let's go to the beach and stuff. And I was just like, I just felt like this huge connection with him at that time. Like it was just like I don't know if a lot of people maybe probably have felt this, like you just feel like a connection. So I felt like I know like people have gotten like stolen in me, or maybe I could be more carefully about everything and be scared with the whole situation. But at that moment he made me just feel like home in a way. So like I opened to him and told him, and like we went in the ocean and stuff. And then like he came with me to my Airbnb and I was like, well, thank you. Like I would invite you in, but like I just got like stolen, so I don't trust, you know, like after being with him alone like at the night. And then he went back to his place and I just like slept in the Airbnb. We got a tattoo the next day. We have the David star like here. And it was all just so crazy, you know? It was like me following my intuition, and like at that time my mom was, this trip promised me you're not gonna get a tattoo, because I would always like go on trips and just return with a new tattoo and my parents hated it. And there was always like this discussion when that happened. So I promised my mom. But at that time, like with this, like with my ex, like he said like on a joke, maybe like we should get a tattoo. I was like, well, yeah. Like, and I called my mom like, Mom, I feel it. I just need to get a tattoo with this guy. Like, I just met him, but like he doesn't have a tattoo and he wants to get one with me. It was all just so crazy, you know, like in a movie, And my mom got mad, but she was like, do whatever you want. And she hanged. And I was like, yeah, I'm doing it. Because I was like, I'm not asking for your permission. I'm just telling you, you know. And then whatever. We had like a great night. And like I had like one more night, I think, before I came back, and we spent it together. And then whatever. This relationship that I went through like changed completely my life. I feel that the universe sent him on my life to learn a lot about myself. You know, like when you meet like some persons and connection, like and do a lot of connection, like I don't know if you heard, they are kind of like a reflection on yourself. I feel he is a lot that person in me. He comes to your life and shows you stuff that you need to see but you haven't seen, or you are not wanting to see in your subconscious or stuff, whatever. We lived together. Like once I graduated, we went to live in Playa, and then I came back to Monterrey for a little bit. He went back to the United States. I was here, and then I came back, and after living in Playa, like my whole time there, I went and experienced like some shit that I've never imagined I was going to live. Kind of like shifted, opened my perspective in a whole different way. I was seeing life so different, and then like I went and lived life really, and it's just like, I don't know, like it was just an expansion in every way, in the good, in the bad, like in the whole wild, everything. And then I came back. I just starting to like obsess in a way about life, researching about like stuff that I've seen, that I've like lived, that I felt it. Like it was just all so crazy. I started to stop going out. I started to drink a lot. I started to numb my feelings and rather like listen to them and kind of like wonder and write them. And I started to completely change my way of living. I was so focused still in yoga because that was the only time that my mind would shut a little bit, because all the time I was in my head and, you know, too obsessed with the past, but like in a good way. I feel like I was just living life in a different old way that I was used to, you know, because I feel that sometimes we shut ourselves and we feel the things we know are the only truth, when in reality it's a fucking whole mystery, the whole universe, just fucking wild. And well, I started to dig in more in yoga because I started to feel changes in my mind, in myself, in my body too. Insecurities were also going. I was just practicing and practicing and practicing, like physically, but I was also shifting, you know, so I was just so into it. And then I saw on my phone yoga course in Bucerias near Puerto Vallarta, there at the beach. So I went, like I had some savings and I paid for that and told my mom. And my mom in that time, she was a little worried about myself. I would basically be all the time in my room, like I didn't want to go out. I sometimes didn't want to eat, sometimes didn't want to shower, sometimes I was kind of a little mess, a big mess. But I was so into that, I was feeling that I had to. And I also added to my pendulum important shit, and it said to go. So I went, and also my mom went at the time because she was a little worried. I think she gets worried a lot. And I always try to tell her not to, because it just causes you more stress, and then you liberate cortisol, and it's just like a mess. You make yourself a mess when you stress. You need to chill, and you have to have faith, and like everything happens for a reason. If I die tomorrow, it had to happen. It's just all as it has to be. But well, she was worried, and then she wanted to come with me. But she also loves yoga. As I told you, like she was the first to take me to a yoga class when I was 15, or I don't remember what age. And then she went with me, and also a friend that she lives now in Mexico City, Moni, her name is Moni, and we went together. And then I was so interested. Like it opened my eyes like in a whole new perspective. If I thought I knew about yoga, like I knew nothing, and I still feel like I know nothing, you know. It's just a whole world, and sometimes I feel we close to hear these other perspectives in life, but yoga has been here for thousands and thousands of years for a reason, and it's just a way of life that if you don't do yoga, you don't know. I don't know, like it's just at the beginning you want to resist. Everyone at the beginning wants to resist to something new, because the body, the mind doesn't like to be uncomfortable, like it doesn't. And yoga, some of the postures through the practice of asanas, the physically part is hard, because it's like if you don't move your ass, or if you don't stretch, but you maybe do move your ass but don't stretch, like after your workout or whatever, and don't breathe. It might be so struggling for you, but that's okay. Like we all start that way in something new. I feel sometimes they have a wrong perspective in yoga, and people feel that they have to be flexible or they have to be strong to make hard postures or whatever. But no, like life, there's levels. You start by something. You start by not feeling ready. You start, and then on the way you start to get ready. And that's life. We cannot be waiting for the perfect moment and waiting to be ready, because we're never gonna do that. Like I'm recording myself now speaking English, and I feel I'm doing great. Like mostly because I felt like for the last 3 years, like that's the whole, I've been talking English a lot, but it's just a little out of my comfort zone recording myself on this camera, talking in English apart. But apart, I said. Aparte. I forgot the word. But well, oh, you see how much I'm like this? Well, then I did my certification, and it opened up, and I was connecting all the dots, like of all the experiences that I went through, and I was just connecting all the dots. This is why, like, I was just realizing that everything is just projection of my own mind. And I'm gonna talk about all of this in some videos. Right now, I'm just not gonna dig into this because then it's gonna be way more longer than it already is. And then I came back to Monterrey. I started doing some classes, also not feeling ready at the beginning, but just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it. Did it, and then I was not like feeling great still, you know, like I was feeling better and understanding like way more and trying to focus on yoga, but I had like my days that I felt like shit. That's when I started practicing Mysore Ashtanga, which is another way to practice Ashtanga, practice like yoga, because like there's this sequence that you do every time you go to that class. There's no teacher guiding the class. It's just you on your mat doing that sequence that at the beginning you don't have to learn it. Like the teacher tells you what to do, but when you repeat it, you start to learn it. You just go there, roll out your mat, and just like do your sequence, and the teacher is just going to be there to tell you if you're like have to do an adjustment like verbally, or he could adjust you yourself or give you tips or whatever. It's more like a personal practice in a way, and it becomes a little more mental and more like meditated in a way, because like you're not wondering what's next. You're just like, you already know, so you're just like in your breath, like in the zone. And like of course you're gonna go to thoughts, but like the practice is always going to like demand you in a way to come back to the practice and focus, you know. It's just like a practice meditation, like a movement. So that practice helped me a lot, because it's a practice also that if you practice it traditionally, you have to do it 6 times a week. So you are just doing your sequence until the posture that you struggle, and then like you repeat it maybe twice, 3 times, and then like repetition is going to make you little by little like have the poster, and then the teacher gives you another poster, and it goes that way. So like everyone's practice looks different, because everyone is just in their own practice, and that's life too, you know. Everyone's in their own path, so we cannot compare to others, and we cannot like judge others because they're going through different things than you are. We just have to learn from each other, admire each other, and just love each other for who they are. And then that practice helped me a lot. Like it was so hard to wake up sometimes and just practice, but I kept like doing it, because like I was starting to see like all the benefits in my mind, in my breath, in my everything. Well, I'm gonna dig in more in that subject more in another video. But then after all of that, and then after that, I reconnected with my ex-partner in San Pancho, and then in Mexico City, and then we lived again together here. He was looking at how much classes would I be doing, and he was was just looking like at how much effort I was trying to make money, you know, like with teaching classes and just trying my best. It's a challenge to make money as a yoga teacher and as an artist, you know, and I wasn't like, decided to be an artist in that way, like yes, but I wasn't focusing really, you know. And then he said to me one time, like, you should open your yoga studio. Like, you love it, like, why don't you open your own? And like, he made me realize that I was too scared. I was like, oh, I just graduated a year ago, you know, like how? How can I open a yoga studio? And he made me realize, yeah, but you like lived, and made me feel so proud about what I've went through and now where I am, because I was in a low point and I was just like not, I don't know, I was just not being like really me, you know. I was just like hiding, suppressing all these parts of me. And I have learned a lot these years with him. Like, he's 7 years older than me and has been living through a lot of places. So like, you know, like sometimes you just have to go out of your box or your circle, I mean, and just like seeing all these things. Like everyone has like a whole universe going on, you know, in their lives. And sometimes we think that, I don't know, it's just like another topic. Yeah, he made me realize that I should open a yoga studio and just like share these tools, experiences, and just, I don't know, I just feel it, you know. And it's been like one of my dreams since I started to practice yoga more devotionally, because I feel like it saved me, and I just want to share, because yoga, it's so extensive. It's just not all about the postures, and it's just so amazing. That's why I'm opening a yoga studio here in Monterrey. And I've never seen myself living here, but like at that time I was like, whoa, my life is already here, you know. We live together and the locals are like beside where I used to live. And well, life happens, you know. And starting a business has not been like a piece of cake. I started to like learn a lot of shit that I didn't know. My career, they didn't teach me a lot of shit that I'm like learning, and I'm just trying to process everything, and I'm just trying to learn in the way, and I'm just trying to trust that everything's gonna work out, because I'm just doing it with all of my heart, and it's just something that I love, something that I believe in, and something that I honestly is just my dream. So this video, I was gonna tell you about my video in Spanish and my second video in Spanish in this video, but this video has been kind of long. I feel like I'm gonna have to do it in 2 videos. I'm gonna tell you about my change of design of the studio. So now you know I'm opening a yoga studio. How I went through that like decision, you know? And I had like already paid my designer, and she did an amazing job. And Concreta Studio is the name of the design agency. But like at the end, I didn't feel like my design that place. The message that I want to transmit in a way. That's gonna be my next episode that I'm gonna post it the next week. I am not sure if I'm gonna leave only my English videos, because I feel that I can reach to more people in English. It's more like the universal language, but Spanish is where the studio is, and a lot of people don't know like English, and feel that like older people more. Like my mom knows, because part of her family like lives there and stuff, but like my dad kind of like struggles a little bit with English. He understands more than what he talks in English, but like I feel like not like I also maybe need to talk in Spanish, you know? So if I do, I'm gonna be posting my Spanish videos on Friday, and I'm gonna try to upload my English videos. It's 4 o'clock right now. I'm gonna try to finish editing this video, and if yes, on Saturdays, and if not, on Sundays. And I'm just gonna be posting one by week. My shorts, I don't know if I'm gonna post. I'm gonna post in English too. Yes. So, well, thank you for being here, and I feel like, I don't know, I'm just gonna share with you everything.